Hello everyone, I'm Jensen Denoyes here for a new and exciting episode of Hero in You.
And I'm Lizandra Gomes. Hero in You is an educational program that focuses on self-growth and self-development. The purpose of our show is to discuss a topic and see how it relates to our lives so that you can
Find the hero in you.
That's right.
Today's topic is on innovation. Can you imagine a world like Star Trek? Living in a world where new inventions are created and new discoveries are found. Well, we are living in that world. That's why innovation is important to us. Steve Jobs once said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Especially when living in a world that's constantly changing, new ideas are being formed and new discoveries are being made. Therefore, the best way to survive in this ever-changing environment is to commit to constantly learn, evolve, and grow.
Innovation is the formulation of new ideas in attempts to make a difference in the world. Innovation is applying these changes and making a real and positive impact on the world. To truly understand the importance of innovation, we had to ask our guests their point of views on the topic.
Our first guest is a group of students coming from Bridgewater Rainham High School named TJ Square. These students have built, designed, and programmed robots to compete in robotic competitions nationwide. They'll share their thoughts on the importance of innovation.
After TJ Square, the program will look at the roles innovation has played in the medical field. You don't want to miss that.
Definitely. Now, one of the questions we asked TJ Square is, what's their definition of innovation? Here's what they had to say.
How would I define innovation? In today's society, there's a lot of problems. There's disease that need curing. There's green energy that needs to be had. And I think innovation would be inventing with a purpose.
How do I define innovation? Define innovation as ideas and different things that make the world better and different products that can either improve upon past ideas that just weren't good enough or completely new ideas that can entirely change the world for the better or for the worse, but can definitely make a big impact on everything.
What key characteristic? I'm gonna have to say determination. I mean, determination it's willpower. It's what you're willing to put behind something. If you're not gonna be willing to put the effort out of the time of your day to do something, then it's almost like, what's the point of doing it in the first place? It's like, if your heart's not really in something, then you're not gonna put your full effort into it, and you're not gonna get as much out of it as you potentially could.
I think a positive attitude is really key to shaping up the world, because if you don't have a positive attitude, nothing's gonna get done. But if you have the attitude, you can get the know-how, and you can really help create the world. Everybody that has attitude like that is going places.
If I could invent something, it would definitely be a space colony. I mean, the Earth right now, we're overrunning this Earth. We're milking the resources dry. If we could build a space colony and almost get out, not really get out, but just almost go there to just give the Earth a break, because we really are just burning up all the resources. If we just went up there for a little bit, let the Earth almost regenerate itself, and then we would be fine. And then the Earth would be in a better position than it was before, because we wouldn't be burning as many fossil fuels.
I think the main innovator for today would be Steve Jobs. He helped create a company that is really globally known right now, Apple. You have the Mac computer, which is a desktop, and it's really large, from the 1980s. And you can just see the progression from time onward. You have it get smaller and smaller until eventually today it's a laptop you could fit inside a mailing envelope and mail with the US Postal Service, which is an incredible thing. Because 30 years ago, if you thought about mailing a computer, you're talking a big box. And you also have the iPhone and the iPod. It's an easy way for people to carry their music around with them. And music is a really good way to bring people together. And being able to have that, it really brings people closer. And the iPhone in general is a real innovation, because you have all sorts of data at your fingertips. It can do calculus even. It has an app called Wolfram Alpha built right into Siri. And it really just keeps you in contact. In addition to the FaceTime invention, which really helps you and your family be able to stay close when distance is separating you. So I think Steve Jobs has inspired me by showing me that no matter what, you can really bring people closer together and innovate, and the inventions that you make will actually change the world, because computers nowadays are easily accessible, very small, have a lot of memory, and really make it a lot easier to do your work.
Innovator in history. I think it was relatively recent, he's still alive. Dean Kamen has done a lot of things. Most recently, he's
built this machine that can purify any liquid into potable water. To use in places like Africa, you put anything in, you get water out. It's a clean source of water anywhere. And he's done other things like modern dialysis machines, and he's worked with his brother to help cure children's cancer. And I just think it's really inspiring that if this guy has done all of these things in his lifetime, you know, I can do at least something in mine.
The interview that we had with TJ Square was very phenomenal. One thing that was very unique about it, they actually presented a robot that they actually built. And this robot, it's 40 inches tall. It's between 70 to 80 pounds, 2 motors and 4 wheels. And one thing that was really astonishing when I was with them, they actually showed this robot actually climbing a 12-foot pyramid. And while I was on the top of the pyramid, it actually threw a frisbee. And this is a prototype that they use to compete nationwide.
Wow. I went over, you know, like I went over their definition of innovation, and it was very, very interesting to see how they all had their own perspective about innovation, but how were they able to come together and then build this robot that's amazing. And being able to bring it out there nationwide for competitions, it's just innovative.
Yeah, it is, big time, big time.
Innovation has helped the medical field for quite a while. We've seen a remarkable change, but as this field is moving to a new and advanced era, how have doctors been able to stay relevant in a field that's constantly changing? Hero and you decided to discover how medical innovation has evolved in both radiology and OBGYN. But first, we asked Dr. Salzman of Brockton Hospital's Signature Health Radiology Department to share his thoughts on innovation and the studies of modern radiology.
Well, I think of innovation, and it's very pertinent to radiology because it's a very high-tech field. So they're constantly coming up with new ways to look at disease processes in a much more technical way so that we can make diagnoses faster, easier, and earlier in a patient's disease state. So having been in this field for the past at least 28 to 30 years, I've seen a remarkable change in how patient imaging and radiology has affected patient health care in the industry. Well, what we're seeing is the need for more and quicker answers for our patients. So some of the technologies we're using, like CT scanning or MRI scanning, involve obtaining multiple images, thousands of images. And it's the manipulation of this data and the recreation of this data and the speed at which we can do this that really affects our industry. So, you know, we are doing, you know, complete scans of the body, which in the old days would take 20 minutes. Now we're done in 15 to 20 seconds. Well, I think the biggest thing that we're going to need to figure out how to do is to manage all this data that we're accumulating. I mean, it's beyond the point of being able to be stored locally, so that we're now using you know, things like the cloud and, you know, other ways to store this data, to ship this data, to make it available to multiple physicians, be it here at Signature Healthcare or wherever they are. You know, the other thing that's probably going to come into play in the future is patients, not only their ability to be able to look at their own images, but to be able to share those images wherever they are and wherever they need be. So I think that you know, our IT people and our healthcare people are going to have to be able to provide these faster means of obtaining the data, manipulating the data, so that we can make them available to patients, clinicians, referrers, be it here or off-site, wherever they may be. A new 64-slice scanner. The patient is placed on the table, is then fed into this CAT scanner, and once in the CAT scanner, the techs will feed in the appropriate settings and inject contrast. The patient will then spend about 30 seconds in the CAT scan machine. The entire study will be done. The images will be then correlated from the CT data and looked at on a separate workstation by the radiologist and the cardiologist.
As we've seen how radiology has evolved in the medical field, we'll now look at the innovative aspect of OBGYN. One of the greatest innovations in the medical field today is the Vinci Robotic Surgery.
Yes.
This device has helped doctors in surgical procedures. The advantage of using this computerized method is that surgeon does not have to be present at an operation, but it can be, that surgeon can be anywhere in the world. Dr. Hanjani of the OBGYN department of Good Samaritan.
We have behind me here the Vinci Robotic Surgery device.
Right. Operates this prototype, and he explains how patient recovery is quick. Here's what he has to say about innovation.
Innovation in today's medicine means us taking technologies such as the robot and using to give patients better care, allowing patients to have surgeries in an easier way, quicker recovery, getting them home quicker, and that means taking a robotic technology, for example, and converting big surgeries into small surgeries for them. So that kind of innovation in medical technology is making a huge difference to our patients, basically. Well, healthcare is getting difficult. As you know, cost is a big issue. So any technology that allows us to reduce cost makes a difference. For example, robotic surgery means patients go home sooner, they recover faster. They spend less time in hospital, they'll take less time out of work. That makes a difference, and that's where healthcare in today's America has to move towards, containing costs, but keeping a high standard of care for our patients. As a whole, we need to continue bringing in IT and technology to allow us to perform the same surgeries and care we used to, but in an easier, cheaper fashion for our patients. Technology allows us to take more difficult things and simplify it for patients, which means quicker and better recovery for them, and hopefully less cost, which is what we all need to strive for in today's health. Well, for gynecologists, a very significant person was Dr. Papanicolaou. He's the one that came up with the pap smear, which we all know about. That's what the test that women get usually on a once or 2 or 3 year basis to check for pap smears. And at the time, that was a huge innovation, to take a simple test and allow it to check for cancer. And for a lot of gynecologists, that was the start of many aspects of our specialty. We have behind me here the Vinci Robotic Surgery device.
Right.
This allows surgeons to carry out operations which required a big incision through small dime-sized incisions. The two instruments behind me go through the patient's abdomen through small scars, and this allows the surgeon to make the operation that required a big scar through a small incision. The patient goes home faster, recovers faster, and has an easier and less painful time after surgery. This is the Da Vinci surgeon's console. The surgeon puts their hands into these little instruments and uses them to move the tips of the robot I showed you earlier, and that allows the surgeon to control the instruments very precisely and perform very fine surgery with the Da Vinci robot.
Indeed, medical field is really a great example of innovation, because it's very important for us to understand that, you know, in order for us to be alive and to be healthy and have the great medical needs, that's just an example of innovation.
Yes.
Like with the OBGYN, the Da Vinci Robotic Surgery, we've seen how an operation can be done for someone and the person can recover within 10 days
Yes.
with less scars, comparing to like 20 or 30 years ago. If that person had to use that, had an operation, it would took like 2 months to recover.
Yeah, and imagine being able to go in as an outpatient and just get your operation done, leave the same day, and you don't have to stay home as long, you know, as much as you would have to a few years back, not even too long ago. We don't even have to go 20 years ago.
Right.
So that's just remarkable, and yes to innovation.
And also, I like the examples that Dr. Hanjani and Dr. Salzman mentioned about innovation, how Dr. Salzman explained how with the radiology,
Yeah.
they're able to with the new technology that they have, they're able to detect diseases or viruses right away.
Imagine
And
that.
by doing that, by looking at the first stage, the doctors are able to expedite the process and patients can recover right away. And Dr. Hanjani, he had actually had a very fascinating point. He said that because of the robotic surgery, so operations that were big now able to be minimized and small, and they're intricate.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot because he was saying that because of these operations are smaller and intricate, patients are able to recover right away and they get the best service as possible.
And a decrease of cost.
Oh yeah,
We all know that.
decrease of cost.
Yeah, so.
Now that we talked about the importance of the medical field and we looked into the OBGYN, the radiology, I think we should talk about the social that we had at
We
Panera
should,
Bread.
definitely.
Lizandra, I really enjoyed the social that we had with Jose, Talma, and Alice. I really like the fact that Alice mentioned the fact that innovation is the key. However, fear can impair innovation because one thing about innovation, it's all about determination.
Definitely.
You know, being determined to know that you're able to be successful, being able to successfully impact the world. And ironically, one thing that was kind of astonishing about Alice talking about fear, because overcoming fear is going to be the next episode of A Hero in You. And I believe we are creative and we have great ideas, but there's so many fears that hinder us from actually reaching our potential, reaching our accomplishments.
Exactly. And to go along with Alice's point, when Thelma brought her business knowledge into the conversation, and a simple thing as how do you stay creative in the market as a business person? If you have a product, how do you market your product so it can stay with time, with so many ideas going out right now? So things like that were very interesting to talk and go over, as well as Jose's point of view, which I'm pretty sure you have something to say.
Oh yeah, one thing I liked about Jose's point of view was the fact that, you know, innovation is actually simplicity and simplification.
True.
Many people believe that innovation has to be something big and extraordinary, but it actually starts from little. And ironically, when he was talking, the first thing that came to my mind was the infomercial products, those commercials. The thing is that those products, the main goal is for them is actually making people's lives simple, you know, simplicity. And the one thing that's really amazing is the people that create these things, they had the idea, but they actually applied it. And sometimes the idea might probably be on TV and we were like, oh, wait, I thought about that.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
How many times have I thought about it? Oh, I could have done that, but hey, it only took one person, one try to actually do it.
And that one person is actually a leader because they actually had the idea and they actually executed it.
Exactly. So there goes into Steve Jobs' quote that we had in the beginning of our show. So
Yeah, pretty much. In conclusion, we've learned the importance of innovation. The final example this program wants to present to you is coming from comic book issue number 5 of Iron Man. To clearly understand Steve Jobs' quote, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. The quote perfectly connects to the synopsis of the Iron Man story. Eli, a longtime friend and mentor of Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, insisted that Iron Man should join his extremist program, a system that basically allows people to go into space and colonize. This was a very interesting idea. Many people followed Eli with this project. Tony Stark went to visit Eli with this project, but while he was there, he got a little more information about it, and then he realized the intention of Eli was to actually, lack of a better word, rule space. Wow. In other words, his idea that he used was for his own self-interest and his own self-greed. Very unethical. Instead, Iron Man destroyed the extremist kid, seeing right through Eli and straightforward said, this isn't about being a grown-up, Eli. This is about wanting it all, wanting it now, no matter the cost. This is about being an adolescent, not an adult. As a leader, Iron Man did not follow Eli like many other people. Yeah. So instead, Iron Man's intention was about saving the world. Therefore, as a leader and innovator, he felt that he needed to learn new things and find a way to contribute to society in a positive way. He said, and I quote, I want to think big. I want to be inspired. Therefore, Tony Stark decided to create a space armor just to learn new ways to become innovative. Ladies and gentlemen, God gave us the wisdom intelligence, and creativity. Therefore, we should learn to use our skills in a positive way.
Yes, definitely.
Now, that's how you find the hero
In you.
If you want to share the most how you've been innovative to your society, or anything innovative that you've done, please follow us on Twitter at HeroInYou, or our website www.heroinu.com, and also check out our new Facebook page www.facebook.com, The Hero in You. I'm Jensen Denoyes, along with Lizandra Gomes, for a new and exciting episode of Hero in You. And yes, you can find the hero in you.